Good evening, everyone. Welcome to my first interview with a member of the comic book community and all that. So I figured we'll start off with a guy that I've gotten to know a little bit and all that. I've seen him all the time on Instagram, and he's a big Batman Beyond collection kind of guy, and like I am ASM. So I got a lot of my Batman Beyond books from him. So I thought it'd be really cool to invite him on to talk about my favorite Batman as well as his, I believe. So please welcome from Instagram, Batman Beyond Comics. How are you doing,
everyone? I'm doing good, man. Thanks for the invite. I appreciate it.
No problem. I'll call you Batman, or should you have a
you can call me Tommy. That's fine. I'm fine with Tommy. Right. Yeah.
Cool. And I don't know how popular my show will be right now because we also have other auctions stuff on Saturdays, but we can have a good chat nonetheless. So,
yeah, absolutely.
So I have brought a few questions and all that stuff to talk about. So, but mainly, when did you get into collecting Batman Beyond, and why Batman Beyond? What is special about him to you?
I mean, I feel like anyone that was born, I'd say mid to late 80s, grew up with, Batman the Animated Series. Bruce Timm did an amazing job with that show. It was fantastic. And then, out comes Batman Beyond. We have someone that isn't Bruce Wayne that's taking on the mantle of the Batman, which hadn't been done. I mean, obviously Nightwing has taken on the mantle of Batman, but that wasn't to the extent. This is someone that was brand new to the Bat family that just stole the suit and did his thing. And I don't think anyone expected it to be as big as it was, especially me. I remember seeing the commercials. I was like, that looks whatever. It looks whatever. And then you watch Rebirth and you're like, okay, I'm in. Sign me up. I'm ready. Let's see what Terry does with this. It was a fantastic show.
Yep. And as I remember correctly, a little bit of research I did too, because I know I'd say I know a fair amount about Batman Beyond, not as much as I know about Spider-Man. But I believe, like I said, what I found was it started out with the six-issue mini-series. You have displayed as well as me, but this is my very first Batman Beyond comic book that I got for $1 from my LCS. I bought the exact same one from you because I wanted a high grade book. So it came back 9.8 from CBCS.
With that, definitely got the high grade.
Yeah. So. But yeah, started off the 6-issue thing. I believe it was March 1999 or somewhere in there.
It started off in March of '99. Yeah.
Yes.
And they only did 6 issues because they didn't think it was going to go anywhere. This was coincided with the show. And they're like, okay, we'll put out 6 comic books, see where it goes. Next thing you know, they run season 2, season 3, and we have a second series run of Batman Beyond where there's 24 issues. So obviously they've really realized quickly they had something going.
Yeah, cool. So while we briefly touch on all that, so maybe you know a little bit more of this. Can you, like I said, briefly describe however in detail you want the history of Batman Beyond? Maybe just the story of the character, or maybe even just the series, what you know?
Ooh, very, very broad question, sir. I like it.
You want.
We can go into pretty much anything. We can go into Terry McGinnis's history. We can also go into his, post, I'd say third series run history, where he was Bruce Wayne's son biologically. I mean, the show, Bruce Timm and Alan Burnett, obviously, that they did an amazing job with the show. No one expected it to be as good as it was. Terry McGinnis, from the beginning, I mean, Will Friedle did fantastic with voicing Terry McGinnis. Dad dies, killed by, obviously Blight. Blight's Mr. Fix, his henchman, and he tries to take the information to Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne kind of dismisses it, tells him to give it to Barbara Gordon. Terry's like, no, I'm going to handle this. I'm going to take care of business. Yeah. And I mean, it's honestly just such a great redemption story for Terry because he grew up just problem child. And this was his chance to, right his wrongs.
Yeah. Although he seemed like he was trying to straighten out beforehand, but this job really helped. I mean, I like the origin stories. It's similar to Bruce's. I mean, he loses one parent compared to both. And in a way, I don't know. Maybe it's like maybe it's like kind of like Robin almost. It seems like where he's driven to the costume in that sense. Maybe that he's to avenge, because I'm not 100% sure about Batman if it was to avenge later on, because he had to grow up first, obviously,
Right.
whereas Dick Grayson was already Terry's age in a sense to jump straight into it. So it's just
Yeah.
very interesting how they similarly tie the origins.
Yeah, they definitely brought it full circle when it comes to Batman. They're like, okay, you know, Bruce can obviously sympathize for a kid that just lost one of his parents as someone that lost both of his parents, and that's something that keeps him up at night and makes him go out every night hunting down criminals in Gotham. So
Yeah.
Batman Beyond, more particularly Terry McGinnis, like I think bringing it full circle was very, very smart on their
Mhm.
part, because they could have taken it any number of ways, but the way they took it obviously clicked with a lot of people. They're like, okay, he's just a kid. He's just like me, but he's out there fighting crime. I want to fight crime. Where's my suit? I'm ready. Sign
Yeah,
me up.
I not no offense to Batman lovers, but the all jet black red logo, long pointy ears, no
Ooh.
cape, like E on Incredibles, no capes.
Yes,
Like
absolutely.
that is the awesome look. I mean, I don't even if you added a black cape or something, I don't think it'd quite look 100% right. Just all that looks just sells it to me. Just all
Oh
totally
yeah,
sells it.
just the costume alone. I mean, compared to any number of Batman costumes out there, I'm pretty sure I posted on Instagram a long time ago, and
Yeah.
it was the Steven Crowder, changed my mind beam
Yeah.
about Terry
Yeah.
McGinnis's suit being the best Batman suit.
Yeah.
That
Speaking
caused
of yeah.
that ruffled some feathers.
Speaking of Instagram, for those watching us, the link to his Instagram channel is in the description below. So give him a like and all that. He posts a lot of cool stuff. In fact, once in a while he does his auction kind of sell, whatever, where he sells Batman Beyond books, and I've gotten a lot of my books from him.
You
So
definitely have. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
I feel like Mr. Comics 89 definitely is one of my number one sellers. I love to see him on when I'm doing my live shows. I'm like, okay, all right, what are you looking for, Mr. Comics? I think I could find it for you.
yeah. I think the last time you were on, I was like 80% of the 80% about 80% of the
Uh,
books you had up.
Definitely more than that. I'd say close to 90, 95.
Yeah, because
So,
it was like everyone else is like, I wanted the book, it's gone. So, but yeah. So speaking of Batman
good stuff.
Beyond, the TV series was really good. The comics that I've read are really good. What do you think? Do you think are there differences that you notice between the two, or is there
It,
similarities? Or
It depends. It depends. The first two series runs of Batman Beyond, they pretty much coincide because they had Hilary Bader, who was very prominent on the TV show, very prominent writer. And so if you look at the second series run of Batman Beyond, you're gonna feel like you're watching the show. That's exactly the feel. The humor. There is some parts that are a little bit gritty, but not too much, not overwhelming. It feels like the show. So for anyone that wants a continuation of the show, I would recommend going and getting the second series run, either buying them online, just the online copy to read them, or just buying them flat out. I mean,
yeah,
they can get pretty pricey nowadays, but the second series run of Batman Beyond definitely coincides with the show. A lot more detail as well.
yeah, they can definitely get pretty pricey.
They can definitely get pretty pricey. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
pricey. I
So
can tell you.
yeah,
But
because I remember buying. I bought mine from you for I think what was it like 120 at most, maybe even closer to 100 or so. I can't remember exactly, but
they can get up there.
I do know that that was the low ball before the whole spec of Batman Beyond showed up. So
Oh yeah. Well,
yeah,
let's hope the spec pays off.
yeah.
Let's really, really, really hope it does for this next Flash movie. That's going to
So
be the nail in the Batman Beyond coffin.
yeah. So tell me more about your collection and all that. What do you like to collect? Do you collect anything and everything? Like I said, I have artwork, I have pops and all that. I have other
Mhm.
things and all that. What is your? Because I see the Batman comic over there, and the other side you have the statue. Your
Mhm.
chair was Batman Beyond symbol on it. So what does your collection entail?
So my collection's kind of evolved over the because I've been collecting since I came back from Afghanistan in 2018, like June 2018,
Well, thank you
and
for your service.
I appreciate it. Thank you. So I came back and I went through a comic shop with my wife. You know, it was more of like just a nostalgia kind of store, but they had comics. And I was walking through and I was just looking through some Batman books because I was like, hey, I like Batman. Let me see if there's anything that I might want to hang on the wall. And that's when I came across a particular Batman book, and I was like, okay, I like this. Bought it, and then history from there. I collected Batman for roughly about a year, just strictly Batman. And then my wife actually got me my first Batman Beyond comic, which is from the 5th series run, number 7. Awesome. And after I got that one, I was like, okay, I need to get more. Need to get more. And unfortunately for me, thousands of dollars later, I can confidently say that I have, I'd say, roughly every Batman Beyond book ever in existence. There's obviously some newsstands out there floating around. You see them on eBay all the time. They're ridiculously outpriced, overpriced. But yeah. Batman Beyond was my thing until I pretty much collected everything from Batman Beyond that I could reasonably. So now I'm just kind of collecting some Power Rangers stuff here and there. Grew up on Power Rangers like every other 90s kid did. I got some Megazords going over to my right, and they're looking fantastic. Awesome. So yeah.
If I have one Batman Beyond book that's at the top of my I want list, is number 1 of Volume 2. You know, you're raffling off that complete Volume 2, correct?
Right. Yeah.
Only. And so I've considered it, but my luck, it could be my luck. I could have 9 of the 10 slots,
right?
And you ring up that number 1. Right. I don't have it, so it's like, so it's almost like, if I'm going to spend all that money trying to nail it, I might as well spend the money to buy the book to get that number 1.
I feel you. Yeah. I tend to stay away from raffles, and I've tended to not do raffles. But when I got this set in, it was kind of a tough sale. It's like, okay, I have 1 through 24. Even if you give like a reasonable price on each book, it's still going to come out to, a pretty astronomical number, on a conservative value. So I figured, you know what, whatever. I'm just going to auction them off, raffle them off, $10 a slot. That will, pay for the books that what I paid for them. And it will give someone, a brand new 2nd series run of the Batman Beyond series.
So, yeah. So here's a question the last question I thought of to ask. I want to ask it now. Why do you think Terry never really had a Robin? I mean, he had his younger brother show up as a Robin in the last volume, here, where he was briefly a Robin. And then when he was kidnapped by the Joker, almost beaten the shit out of, kind of a thing, and he went through the trauma, he was forbidden to be Robin again. So otherwise, Terry McGinnis has always been a single solo Batman. Why do you think there's never been a Robin to him?
I don't know. I'm sure. To be honest with you, I have no clue. I thought for a long time that Maxine Gibson would take on the mantle of Robin, but you see in the show, she's like, "You're not calling me Robin." She's not taking that. She does not like it one bit. So, good on her. She's going to be her own person. I don't think Terry needs a Robin, to be honest. Yeah. He doesn't really need a Robin. He doesn't need the comedic relief. He is the comedic relief, He's
more separate, more comedic and all that. Hey, comic collector, what's up? Good for you to show up.
What's going on, comic collector?
He's a comedic relief. He's not as serious as Batman is, so he's more fun. And also, a thing that I just thought of now as I finished asking the question, the whole Batman and Robin, the dynamic duo and all that, you have that in a sense. You got Terry out in the field and Bruce at home as the brains.
That's true.
You got the dynamic duo, but he's the wise sage master, teaching the young fella how to be out there in the world.
Definitely is.
It's Robin juiced up, but he's not wearing the Robin suit.
Exactly. Yeah, he doesn't have someone ready to punch someone coming after him, but he does have someone that's constantly there, seeing everything that he sees, able to help him from afar. And then not only that, he does have Maxine Gibson, who, just intellectually just leaps and bounds above Terry, luckily for him. So he has that extra sense of backup as well.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm kind of glad he didn't get a Robin. I wasn't too happy with it in the Rebirth run. I mean, it seemed a little like cliche. Okay, yeah, my brother's going to take on the mantle of Robin. Okay, whatever. you know, that's all fine and dandy, but
Yeah.
you have Matt McGinnis, who is nothing like Terry, who didn't grow up joining Joker gangs and doing all the things that Terry had done. Matt was, for the most part, a younger sibling, way younger sibling that just kind of grew up and watched cartoons and hung out and ate cereal. Terry was out there doing mischief and all sorts of things.
Yeah, he doesn't have the character or the persona or whatever to quite be Robin. He's a little too unbroken.
Honestly, I wouldn't have been opposed to them going full on Jason Todd with Matt McGinnis. I'm just saying, you know, giving Terry a life or death situation. Okay, you got to save your little brother from the Joker. Hey, Mr. Crowbar, what's up?
Yeah. So, Batman Beyond has some pretty cool villains and all that. You get Shriek, Blight, Batman Beyond, Terry's Joker, his arch enemy, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think the villains are similar between Batman and Batman Beyond? Sorry, you know, they always seem Batman Beyond is kind of like Batman's villains kind of remind me of Flash's villains, but a little less silly or stupid. You know, he's got Scarecrow,
Right,
Clayface, and Penguin. You know, it's kind of like seriously, but they're still serious.
yeah.
Yours,
I mean,
you know.
you could sense some of them are just direct ripoffs of the original Batman story. You know, obviously Scarecrow. You have Spellbinder. That's an obvious ripoff. You know,
Yeah.
you have the Golem. You know, Willie Watt. There's just a lot of similarities between the Batman villains and then the Batman Beyond villains, which to a certain extent I think is smart because they're like, hey, I remember someone that could do the same ability. Okay, I'm interested. I want to see what happens. I want to see how Terry tackles this as opposed to Bruce Wayne, how he tackled it. Bruce Wayne is a tactician. Terry isn't. He's a little sloppy. So it's a completely different story, even though the villains are the same.
Yeah, Terry is the street smart, street brawler and all that. Whereas Batman, I'm gonna keep on doing that all night. I swear. But as Batman is the finesse, tactician, thinking things 100% through. Or Terry is like, I have the stamina to be able to figure things out while I'm doing it.
Right.
So,
it doesn't hurt that your suit can lift 10 times your body weight. So, you know, that's always helpful. Yeah. Bruce didn't have that. And I you know, hats off to Bruce for being able to do that, but you should have came up with that Batman Beyond suit a lot sooner, Bruce. What were you doing?
Definitely.
What were you doing?
Yeah. So yeah. Well, I'll throw this in here before the next question. If you guys in the audience or people watching this and all that like these interviews and all that, and you want me to do more, you know, hit that like button. You know, let me know. I want to try and add more to my channel, all that. So if I'm going in the right direction, if this is something you like, please let me know about it. I would love to give you guys something you would really want to enjoy and watch. So, all right. Another thing I had is Batman. A lot of TV shows and movies have, like, in the future, the technology and style is kind of ridiculous, to where it's like, you know, like Back to the Future 2015 comes, there's no hologram things down there, my shoes don't lace themselves, my jacket's not drying itself, there's no flying cars, what a ripoff. You know, but the future it seemed to me like the future wasn't quite, you know, all shiny blinking lights and all that. It seemed a lot more realistic, the future tech. I mean, it's because it was the animated TV show versus a movie kind of thing and all that, but it seemed like it's a lot more futuristic, you know. Simple, not ridiculous. What do you think of the technology and how it looks in Batman Beyond?
Well, Neo Gotham was gorgeous. I think they did an amazing job. They didn't make it too far-fetched, you know, and they also didn't include a date. Obviously, you can kind of figure out what date it is. But to be honest, like, Neo Gotham was awesome. I want to live there. How do I get there? At least someone, you know, cryogenically freeze me so I could go live in Neo Gotham, get me some slappers. I'm gonna go fight some crime.
Yeah. Well, I saw on the Batman wiki thing or whatever, it's saying that the last time we see Bruce as Batman in the pilot, it was, they said approximately 2019. You know, they gave an approximate date and all that, and then 20 years in the future, in 2039, they are kind of hinging it. So hey, in 20 years, we got some. You know, here we go.
20 years, yeah, 20 years from now, I'm gonna be old Bruce Wayne yelling at some kid in a monitor.
Get off my holographic lawn.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's my kids?
Yeah, I mean, I thought they did tremendous with Neo Gotham. You know, it's futuristic enough to believe it, but it's also realistic enough. You know, the everything didn't change from high school. You know, the cliques. You know how people talk to each other. That kind of stayed the same, and that's what I would expect from a
Yeah,
futuristic society.
yeah, you saw that. I mean, the first example that pops in my head was the girls with the Ouija board and Willie Watts, the powers and all that, and
Yep.
the football player and all that, kicking things around, being a jerk, and going, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I didn't have a horrible. I mean, I wasn't the popular kid and all that, but at least when I got to high school, I was no longer. I mean, I just didn't
No
notice or
longer
whatever.
Willy Watt.
I wasn't Willie Watt. I wasn't Willie Watt, but definitely wasn't the jocks and all that. I was my
Right.
own thing and all that. But I said I don't remember high school being that bad and all that. Even so. But
Yeah, I think it just depends. You know, you go to a bigger school. I don't know the exact class size of Neo Gotham, but I can't assume it's very large if we are only getting fed the same 10, 15 characters at a time. So I'm assuming the class of whatever 2041 isn't going to be huge.
hey, the ditch rate was astronomical. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
but I definitely like the character of Terry, and that's another one of the questions here. He's just like I said, he wasn't as straight as Bruce ever seemed to be. He was the constantly, you definitely had that shady record. We see that with countless examples that, oh, the kid I used to run with, the kid I used to be this kid or whatever. So it seemed like the time we met him, he was in the straighter and narrow. I mean, although he still had the teenage
Right.
rebellion, dad, I'm out of here kind of thing. You're a loser kind of a thing. But he seemed to be having his head on straight.
Yeah.
Maybe I think maybe it was that short time in juvie or something. I forget exactly what I'm talking about. So the character himself seemed to be more well-rounded. I mean, that's why he seemed like such a good Batman. Is it seemed like he had his toe on the other side, but yet he was living on the good side. The character.
Right.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think to a certain extent he's the antithesis to Bruce Wayne, because you have Bruce Wayne who wakes up every morning and he goes and fights for his parents, his parents' memory every single day. And then you have Terry who had finally killed Mr. Fix, and he's like, okay, I've got my redemption. Then he starts wearing the suit every other night, not to get his redemption anymore because he already got it against Mr. Fix. He wears the suit every night because he's trying to be a better person. He's trying to do good in Neo Gotham for his crimes in the past, which is completely different from Bruce's reasoning. And I think that's what made Terry a really likable character, because not all people can follow the same motives of Bruce Wayne, but they could all follow like, hey, I just want to be a better person. I just want to go out there and do my part. And that's what Terry's trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, all our talk and all our questions so far have kind of revolved around this, but the main differences between Terry and Bruce, just the character without the costume and with the costume. What do you think? Anyone who's not familiar,
humor is definitely up there. You don't really catch Bruce Wayne cracking any jokes. Terry's a street brawler. He's not a trained fighter like Bruce was.
The suit more than makes up for the fact.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he relies on heavily. It's kind of a crutch, but whatever. I love the crutch. I love that suit. Don't hate on the suit. That's the best looking suit there is. His intellect, obviously nowhere near Bruce Wayne's intellect. He's not a tactician. He cannot, put him up against Darkseid like Bruce was. There's no way Terry McGinnis would be able to handle that kind of situation. Bruce was just too smart, way too smart, genius level intellect. There's no way Terry can even comprehend what Bruce was thinking at any given time. That's enough hating on Terry McGinnis. I'm going to go back to Bruce. What Bruce doesn't have that Terry does, he has a social life. He has a mom, he has a mother. I mean, that's kind of messed up to say, but I mean, he has someone.
Let's leave Martha out of it.
he has someone that's there, loving him. Someone, that he's obviously there going to protect as much as he can. But there's just so many differences between them. And I think that's what everyone was kind of afraid of. They're like, okay, they're just going to reboot Batman. here we go. We're going to get some brand new kid that just has the same struggles. No, Terry McGinnis is extremely different from Batman. Just like Spider-Man 2099 is very different from, Peter Parker.
Yeah. So, all right, okay. You're the caster. You're making a live action Batman Beyond movie.
Ooh.
Who is Terry and who is Bruce?
Okay, Bruce is the easiest pick of all time. Michael Keaton is Bruce Wayne for Batman Beyond. He is 100% Bruce Wayne for Batman Beyond. If he wasn't so old now, and I don't mean that with disrespect, but he has gotten a lot older since his days in Teen Wolf. Dylan O'Brien, him and Michael Keaton in American Sniper, or American Assassin. I can't remember the name of the movie, but him and Michael Keaton were in a movie together, and their chemistry was fantastic. Their on-screen chemistry. I've heard rumors about a Batman Beyond movie. I can't remember the kid's name, but it's a younger kid. Couldn't tell you his name. Do you recall? It's gonna bug me. If anyone's in the comments, hit that comment button. send us a lifeline here. I can't remember his name. I mean, I could see it, but honestly, Dylan O'Brien or what's his name? I'm blanking on all these names. I wish I would have been prepared for this one.
I mean, there's a problem. I mean, the definite, like Michael Keaton, hands down. He has.
There's no way.
The Vulture, he has the grit needed to be Batman and Bruce. Terry McGinnis is a lot more of a harder question for me. I'm like going, I have honestly no real idea who I want to do. I'm trying to scroll through, going, okay, movies. Who do I know recently who would be who would look the part? Tom Holland, no, he doesn't fit. With Robert Pattinson, since he's being Batman and all that, could he be de-aged to look like a Terry McGinnis? He has the right kind of look, maybe, but does he have the right sound? I don't know. So yeah, it's definitely a lot harder to pinpoint a Terry because the whole thing, in a sense, rides on both. You can't have a good. You need both to be successful. But if you screw up Terry, I don't know if Michael could carry the whole thing by himself.
My boy Michael could carry that whole film by himself. But I mean, there was talks of Christian Bale being the Batman, the old aged Bruce Wayne, and I was just thinking in my head, like, could you imagine Christian Bale being Batman, being Bruce Wayne in the Batcave talking to Terry? Terry, where are you going? No, no, thank you.
Christian Bale is actually if I had to pick a single guy to be Batman, that was my guy, was Christian Bale. I liked those 3 movies, so I like that one. So
I'll agree to disagree. I mean, don't get me wrong. I liked the movies, but he had the worst Batman voice of all time. I'd take George Clooney's any day.
I don't know. If I had to pick a single bad, horrible, take him off the character, was George Clooney. He didn't. He had the going like, Batman, I want to punch you. Hell,
even sometimes Batman has a credit card. You never know. You never know what's going to happen when Batman shows up.
I mean, I had to watch the movie twice before I warmed up to Ben Affleck as Batman and said, okay, he's good. He's not great, but so that's the whole thing there. So what would you change? Well, like I said, I had to warm up to the character.
It's a pretty broad opinion. I mean, it's a pretty pretty much a consensus at this point. A lot of people didn't like Ben Affleck, but to be honest, I did. I really did. I think that he portrayed Bruce Wayne very well. You look at any other person that's played Batman, they're all really tiny, skinny guys. And then you have Ben Affleck, who's just yoked, and he looks like Bruce Wayne would look in the comic books. And you're like, okay, I can see it. And then you also have his demeanor. He's just kind of an asshole, which Bruce Wayne is. And so I don't know. I liked him. I'll agree to disagree on that one.
Well, I definitely agree with you there. As it's kind of like the whole who's the best Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland. Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne, he does sell it. He does sell Bruce Wayne. He does Bruce Wayne very well. In fact, he might do a better job. He does a better job, I feel, than Christian Bale. But but as the alter ego, that's where it's kind of like, anyway. Back to Batman Beyond and all that.
Yeah, let's get out of this Batman talk. Dangerous territory.
Yeah. What would you change or have different about the character if we were like I'm saying revamping the series again if it comes back, and we'll get to that question in a little bit here. What would you change about the character? What would you add to the character of Terry McGinnis and Batman Beyond? What do you feel would be your personal touch to add to make it better?
Okay. So I mean, this didn't necessarily annoy me or like put me off to Batman Beyond, but I'd change the whole Bruce Wayne lineage. There's no reason to have that in there. I mean, it just felt unnecessary. Like everyone watched Epilogue and they were like, "Oh snap, what a big reveal." It was awesome. I'm not going to say that it wasn't, but at the same time it's like let Terry be his own person. He doesn't need to have ties to Bruce Wayne to be an incredible hero, just like Bruce Wayne was. He doesn't need to have Clooney was the best. Bad chin. I'm sorry, I saw that. Yep. Yeah. So I mean, I would get rid of the Bruce Wayne lineage. He doesn't need to have ties to Bruce Wayne to be a competent hero. Honestly, that's pretty much all I would change. I can't really think of any aspects of Terry McGinnis that are off-putting or I mean, the only aspect of Terry that's off-putting is his girlfriend Dana, who just loves to complain while he is out there serving justice to Gotham. I'm just saying, I'm all about Melanie Walker. Dana needs to go.
Yeah. Well, we don't know about her until we are, I guess, in the whole epilogue thing and all that.
Mm.
Well, the whole epilogue thing and all that, we don't know until she knows he's Batman that she might complain about it still, but she's still more on it.
Do you think she apologized for being such a nuisance?
Maybe.
I don't think Dana's the apologetic type. I'm just saying, Melanie Walker. I mean, yeah, they had so much better chemistry. I would like if they do a live action adaptation. Sure, Dana's the love interest. Turn it into a love triangle. Have him, Melanie Walker, and Dana, duke it out to kind of figure out where they want to go. And let's just hope when the smoke settles, Dana Walker is walking home while Terry's taking Melanie home in the Bat Bride.
Dana, you put on the cat suit. Melanie, you put on the Batgirl suit. Have at it.
Oh, that's another thing. Elena Grayson as Batwoman Beyond. I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we never got any backstory on her getting trained. Oh, look at that. Nice CGC copy. Or is that CBCS?
It just
CBCS. Dang, just missed it.
I had one tick somewhere in the spine. It just
that's a nuisance. No, I mean I didn't see that coming. I don't even think I finished the Rebirth run. I wasn't a huge fan of the Rebirth run. It's good, don't get me wrong, but it just feels so different.
Yeah, her backstory I think was Dick Grayson didn't want her to be in that life. And let her join. I think she joined the army or joined something, and that as a way to serve and do that, but not be a superhero. So that's I think where her backstory is and where she gets all that. She's a veteran in that sense. She's trained in another sense, so that's definitely very good. But yeah, definitely enjoy it. I mean, the newer series was really cool. I mean, really cool too. These covers this is her first Elena Grayson cover B.
Right.
The swipe of Batman and the Joker covers definitely very good.
Oh yeah, the Joker in the modern age. They did some amazing artwork for those covers.
Yeah, and so I missed out on this one originally or whatever, but yeah, this is one of the ones that I got from you.
Oh, nice! Look at that.
Yeah, so I think I just left it on there. Didn't think about it. That some spine stress and color break, fine plus VF. So yeah, $8 for this book and a really nice variant cover. I gotta say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a steal for $8, man. You want to sell it?
The foil itself isn't a bad book either. So.
Oh yeah, the A cover is just as awesome. It's definitely one of the books you'd want to display. Everyone likes something shiny.
In fact, I think this is where I jumped in, honestly, around here. I might have seen a couple of Batman Beyond books because this is one of the books that they had Batman Beyond books, but then they stopped selling it at my LCS because it's very, very small down there. And
yeah,
this is back before Corona when they kind of held up some again because they didn't want to have a bunch of inventory tied up in their hands.
Exactly.
But they dropped it because I was really the only one getting it, so I basically got to order from them. They had to buy one book, one copy, and that was me. So, and then I basically said, after a while, I said, it's getting a little expensive right now. Go ahead and drop this book.
Dang.
And that's before I started. It's one of the runs I will eventually want to complete. I think Batman Beyond, because it's a Batman Beyond, Static Shock. Those are my superhero. Those are my superheroes as a kid.
Superhero Static Shock. Woo woo.
Yeah, so really, really cool.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So.
I mean, I feel like you get people that love Batman Beyond, and naturally the next progression is Static Shock as well, because those shows were very, very close to being broadcast at the same. I want to say close to the same time. Those shows were being put out on what was it?
CW
FX Kids.
I thought it was
WB.
FX Kids.
Kids XD or something. I don't know. I think now is the time for the '90s kids to start collecting these books, and look at that.
So I had to get the pop too. So it's not the one that's chromed came with a series or whatever or something like that. This one's not it, because I paid a good amount for this one too, and all that. But it's pretty cool. Yeah,
they're hard to find for, or I'd say around under $20. Finding one of those is pretty rare. Yeah, so they could get pricey.
Yeah, so show off some of your stuff. I see the statue. You have anything?
Obviously, this is one of my favorites. I got the Mezco San Diego Comic Con exclusive. Oh, dropped the Batarang. This figure was one of my favorites when I got it. To be honest, it's just I don't really care for the face. Let's just put a bag over the face. Everything else just looks fantastic. You got the little Batarangs going for it. I did pull out some books. Obviously, I got my gems for my Batman Beyond collection. I have the Newsstand #1 signed by Bruce Timm and Kevin Conroy. Yeah. If I had to give it a conservative grade, I'd say around a 9.4 to 9.6.
And a nice COA on the back I saw.
Yeah, nice COA on the back for Bruce Timm Sig.
Nice.
The guy I bought it from, he's pretty reputable. I believe him. This is probably one of the next biggest holy grails for Batman Beyond collecting.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Return of the Joker. You've all seen it. Shut up. You've all seen the movie. You've all seen it. So the newsstands, since I've been collecting Batman Beyond, I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out my camera. Okay, so since I've been collecting Batman Beyond, I have seen in the wild only 3 newsstands of this book, one of which I bought.
Nice.
So, I mean, you look at any other books like the Batman Beyond #1 newsstand, you see them all the time now. Everyone figured out, oh, hey, these books are worth money. You see them all the time, but the newsstand for the Return of the Joker, you don't see it very often. Very, very, very rare.
Yeah, and that Return of the Joker comic, and like I said, the movie too, to go back for what we talked about earlier, shows a big difference there between Terry and Bruce. When he's like, in the last fight, they're going, how do I deal with this guy? Bruce Wayne's going, power through and all that. He's just going to try and talk or whatever. Just don't distract the focus, power through. And Terry's like, wait, I like to talk
too.
And Bruce, they were going like, he nuts him or whatever. And he's like going like, kind of thing. I forget what he says exactly, but he's like, funny guy.
Yep. Mark Hamill.
And then Batman never laughed at your jokes, all that. Sorry, excuse for you're not Batman. Understand apparently.
Yeah. Oh, it's such an amazing movie. And that's another thing too that you don't see. I mean, obviously you get the dark undertones with Batman the Animated Series. There's some stuff in Justice League Unlimited that's very dark, like the epilogue episode where he's sitting there swinging with that little girl. But with Return of the Joker, you see one of the darkest storylines in, animated movie history, with the Joker basically lobotomizing Robin, torturing him day in and day out. And that scene, man, where he's crying and laughing at the same time after he just shot the Joker. Like, as a kid, I can't remember how old I was when that came out. I want to say 11, maybe 12. That hurt. That hurt. Yep. That's, just another thing that solidified my love for Batman Beyond. It's not afraid to go dark when it does.
Definitely. It was definitely interesting there. Yeah, the whole
Hmm.
kidnapped and changed and all that, and
Hmm.
yeah, it was a darker thing. You didn't think about it. I mean, I saw it. I wasn't even thinking that it was that dark. Honestly, I just thought it was like, oh no, it's a Batman story kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
messed up for a kids show.
yeah, so definitely. So, but yeah, those are some great books. But yeah, I've definitely sent. If I sent this, if you send that off to get graded, I'd definitely send it to CBCS. You'd get the
Oh yeah, for
yellow
sure.
verified SIG for sure. In fact, you could even send it with, because I accidentally sent off one of my books with the Obama variant third cover of ASM. I actually did not take this out of the bag, and they
Hmm.
sent it back. CBCS sent it back. So if
Nice.
I mean, they are their own professional graders checking the signature and all that. But if you sent the
Hmm.
COA with it, they would send it back
Yeah.
for sure.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah, I think that's the plan down the road, man. But obviously, I don't have any plans of selling it, so there's really no reason to grade it.
well, I grade it to protect my books and because I like them. I
That's
like
true.
I like looking at that numbers, like all that
You're a
stuff.
numbers guy. I get it.
Like I said, when I bought this one for $1 for my LCS, like I said, it has some staple pull there, really
Ugh,
worn. The
it's
white
hurting
is
me. It's hurting me inside.
dirty, but it's
Ugh.
$1. I bet if I could have sold that during the hype for probably at least 50. I'm imagining. Probably too.
You saying the hype like it's past tense, man. The hype,
Well,
the hype's still going.
well, I remember the area I'm talking about in my mind. I remember doing that. But yeah, when I bought this from you and all
Mhm.
that, I wanted a graded one, but I'd also be that nice condition. I'd be afraid to or whatever. So I wanted it graded.
Right.
So, but yeah, now I can actually hold it and not have to worry about getting it. Just clean the cover off. I don't have to worry about leaving fingerprints. So yeah, I mean, I have my own. So yeah, so the best books are
Yeah,
graded.
it
Most of
looks
them are,
great, man. It's a great copy. It's nice
yeah,
and clean.
yeah, it's definitely nice. So, um,
It's just I want to touch real quick on the Batman Beyond hype too,
yep.
um, because right now we're seeing an upswing. We're seeing an
Mhm.
upswing on sales. Um, One of the ways I kind of gauge this are looking at the direct sales. I guess you could say selling points, selling prices, and then I also look at the promo variant selling prices. When those go up, it's kind of a telltale sign that all Batman Beyond books are going up, including the second series, third series, fourth series. All what is it, 6 or 7 series runs are on the upswing.
Mhm.
So I've seen it happen 3 times so far. When I first started collecting, I'd say within a couple months there was spec on a movie, all the books just jumped, and I was lucky enough to get my number ones before those prices jumped. I want to say for this newsstand I paid $180, which
Yeah.
for 2 signatures on a newsstand that's just outrageous right now. It would not happen ever. And then it dwindled down, and then we saw it rise again
Mhm.
because of new movie spec. It just keeps happening year after year. There's new movie spec that they pushed out. Someone's pushing out. I don't know if it's just DC rumors or not, but there's a time and a place to buy Batman Beyond comics. And for me, especially like when there's a book that I want to get or there's a book that I want to add to my collection, I look at where are we at right now? Are we on an upswing like we are right now? Or are we on the downswing when the movie spec was debunked and it's 2 months later and everyone's just like, okay, I've had this on eBay for 4 months, I could just get rid of it. So
Yeah.
for those out there that are collecting Batman Beyond and trying to get these number ones, just be patient. That's the biggest thing I could say. Just be patient. There's plenty of them out there. You won't miss out.
Yeah. I imagine, and I'll tie it into this next question here because I imagine that we might get more talk of a movie or actually get a movie if they actually bring back, because it recently ended, Batman Beyond, the final book, from the series, ended. Yes,
Oh,
yes, we're both like, no, you sons of no, why?
it hurts me. It hurts me.
But do you think it will be brought back? I mean, because like I said,
Oh.
if the whole thing with things collecting, how things move through phases and all that, maybe in a few years, Batman Beyond will get kicked up even more, going this whole another 90s, early 2000s things, become hot again. Batman Beyond might actually pick up more interest and be brought back. And so I imagine that might lead to a movie. So do you think will be brought back, or do you think that it might just be laid to rest because, people like us that are geeks for Batman Beyond are kind of more of the rarer, people are like, oh, Batman Beyond, I like Batman, kind of thing.
That's a great question. And I mean, I think if you've noticed with DC's track record as of late, people are getting kind of tired of Batman. They're tired of Bruce Wayne. I have zero knowledge of Batman Beyond. That's all good, man.
Yeah, that's why I'm doing an interview like this with someone whose name is literally Batman Beyond Comics. So
everyone starts somewhere. If you like the show, then yeah, absolutely. I mean, if anyone ever has any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm more than happy to answer any questions when it comes to Batman Beyond.
Yeah, his info on Instagram is in the description, so hit
absolutely.
him up.
Yeah, back to the question. We've seen Batman Beyond die a few times. Not literally, obviously, but we've seen the comic book series run die a few times. We saw it die in 2001 with the second series run of Batman Beyond. That was the last one until 2010. They brought it back for the third series and the fourth series. And when they got to, I want to say it's Unlimited, then they did web sales only. They didn't have book in hand sales. They just did a web series only. And then people were like, no, give us Batman Beyond back. And so DC finally caved and they started putting out more and more books. So we've seen it happen, roughly twice. Well, now 3 times with the end of Rebirth. Terry McGinnis is going to come back. Yeah. He is one of the biggest fan favorites out there. There's no way they're going to be able to, pull off a million Harley Quinn books and not bring back Terry McGinnis. Come on. Everyone's getting sick of Harley Quinn. Okay. Everyone's sick of Harley Quinn right now.
All right. Well, the final question I have that's prepped. Well, go ahead. I mean, I think we'll go ahead and do that way since we've been here about 50 minutes almost. So
yeah,
we'll go ahead and wrap the final question up and we can just lightly talk or whatever. So the final question I have is, we have the whole thing. Who would win in a fight? Iron Man or Batman and all these other characters. Who do you think would win in a fight? Batman Beyond with Bruce Wayne in his ear, because I'm thinking a younger guy, not the epilogue older guy where he's on his own fully.
Right.
Or Batman. Now, because if it's Terry versus Bruce without the suit, I think Bruce Wayne is no problem because he's actually trained and all that versus a street brawler. Terry, like you said, relies on the suit. But who do you think would win? Because I originally had a knockout exhibition match up where Batman Beyond versus Batman. I was arguing for our boy Batman Beyond, and everyone in the chat made the wrong decision, and it was a unanimous. I got totally wiped out. They voted for Batman, but we're gonna ask the smart expert over here.
I don't know. You're not gonna like my answer. I'm gonna tell you that much right now. You're not gonna like my answer one bit. Bruce wins. I'd say 10 times out of 10. Bruce wins. He designed the suit. I mean, even if we're talking about a Bruce that has no idea who Terry is in the Batman Beyond costume, he wins. He will sit back and watch what Terry can do. He will find a way to just subdue him. And I mean, of course, you have the suit that can fly. He's faced off against people that can fly before. You have the suit that has 10 times the wearer's strength. He's fought off against Bane, Superman, you name it. He's not opposed to any ability that the suit has with any villain that he's fought before. So reasonably, Terry gets his ass kicked. I'm sorry, it happens.
I can accept it coming from you. I can accept it coming from you, especially when you put it that way, because you got people saying Batman's just better, but you're saying. But he's fought all these other characters that this wouldn't help him because he's fought against this, or wouldn't help Terry because he's fought against that. He wouldn't help them because he fought against Bane. So when you put it like that, it's going, well, yeah, you kind of got it right.
I'm a realist. As much as I love our boy Terry McGinnis, like he's gonna get knocked in the sand. He's not gonna stand a chance.
Although I still hold out hope for that X factor of Bruce in his ear going, I know myself. Go for the right knee.
That's actually a good point. Like, Terry, I was hurt that day. You punched me in the stomach. I can expect that. That's a very, very valid point too. So I could see your side of the argument because
Terry, say find Martha.
No. How do you know that name? Oh God, no, no. Oh, the worst. I feel so bad for that line, dude. Yeah. Terry gets whooped. I don't care if he has Bruce in his ear. I don't care if you know he has Blight on his side or any other villain fighting alongside him. Bruce will win. Bruce is who he is and has been for the last 70 years or 80,
Yeah.
90 years because he's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Well, you heard it yourself here, folks. The Batman Beyond expert says his guy loses every single time.
Every single time. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. Terry McGinnis isn't quite skilled enough. We'll see.
I guess he has to kick the older guy's ass instead. So.
Well, I mean, maybe after he's trained by Damian Wayne, we'll see. Because I think that's what they're leading into, which is another good point. Because you look at Superman Batman Annual #4, it's not Bruce that's in his ear, it's Damian Wayne. And where did Rebirth lead to? Damian Wayne.
Yeah, I think that's the other comic I need or really want. That first appearance or the appearance at that annual thing. That's the other one I need. But anyway.
There's a lot of iffiness on whether or not that's his true first appearance, but let's not touch on that.
Yeah, I know. There's a cameo or whatever of that number, like Batman Superman number 26, whatever, like the first real cameo or something like that. So
exactly. Yeah.
We won't touch into that. So
that's a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah, you specters will not get any satisfaction here.
I'm not gonna push out that spec. Y'all can do that on your own.
I guess go ahead. Sorry, my wife wanted to ask me my son a question real quick, so
you're good.
Yeah, Mrs. Comics likes to pop in and watch me once in a while. So
yeah, I did.
So yeah. Anything you want to talk about before we go ahead and start wrapping things up? Show off, talk about. Do you have anything just for people like Simeon here who has zero knowledge of Batman Beyond? What do you want to say? Anything?
Ooh,
getting into recommend a good first book or dive in point, something like that.
I'd say if you're looking for first good books to dive into, I mean, if you're looking on the cheaper end of the spectrum, if you're not looking to spend $8 per book. Start off with the 5th series run. You could find all of these books in dollar bins. It's not Terry McGinnis, because at that point, spoiler alert, Terry McGinnis had died. And I can't even remember the name of the series. They did a series run for, was it New 52, where Terry McGinnis died. And so it was Tim Drake that took on the mantle of Batman Beyond, because Terry had given him the suit and it's like, here you go. And so it kind of went into this future state where Tim Drake is now the new Batman Beyond. It's a cool read. I mean, you get to see Tim Drake take on Superman as Batman Beyond, like a cyborg-esque Superman. It was really cool. Yeah, definitely 5th series run. All these books you can find in a dollar bin. Don't spend $5 on eBay. No, just wait it out. Find them in the dollar bin. There's tons of them out there.
Yeah, and go to Walmart and spend $40 on the complete Batman Beyond series. It's three volumes.
Oh snap! It's only $40 right now.
I think that's the last I talk about. Every time I see it, whatever, it's like about $40, I think.
And that's the one that comes with the pop.
No, that's one without the pop.
So
if you're talking with the pop, you're probably talking to me. Yeah, sorry, no. But yeah, if I can't find my current volume, because it's around here somewhere, I swear to God it is. If I can't find it, I'll have to spend another $40 because I'm not going to miss my Batman Beyond series. My brother, I already had to borrow the Static Shock complete set from him.
Oh, nice.
He bought it all on eBay or on Amazon or whatever, and so I borrowed it and watched all 4 seasons. Yeah. So I don't have any seasons because Batman Beyond was slightly more important to me than Static. Because cooler suit.
Yeah,
it was a cooler
definitely
suit.
Cool. Definitely cooler suit. I like Virgil Hawkins a lot. He's
very cool.
He's my next up to Terry McGinnis. Is Virgil Hawkins. Definitely one of my favorites. And we do have confirmation a movie's getting made. Michael B. Jordan is one of the people spearheading it. And I want to say the most recent announcement I saw is that the dude from Stranger Things is going to be in it, which should be pretty good. He's a good actor.
I want to say is I really hope his costume looks more like the TV show than especially the first volume where that skin suit was. But I mean, if you don't do that, at least do.
Hey man,
sometimes closer to this for volume 2.
Sometimes Static needs to wear a skin suit. Why you gotta be hating? Sometimes. No, I agree. I loved Virgil's outfit in the show. It was awesome.
Yeah, that long coat in there, it was just really cool. Especially seasons 3 and 4, where he ditched the white shirt and had the black shirt. Then he was really, I mean, his outfits, both outfits he had in Batman Beyond, where they went into the future, Batman Beyond, Justice League, where they did that Unlimited Back to the Future thing, where he had what's his name, Tempest or something or whatever, was really cool. And his outfit in Static Shock, where he went to the future, was cool. It was a different outfit. Or like Batman Beyond, no cape or no trench coat, but it's still cool. So I mean, I'm sure movies will do it justice. I've yet to see a really costume, like in the Marvel MCU, where they had these outfits where characters are going realistic and cool. Realistic and cool. Because these whole comic book things, our outfits are not really going to translate well into the real world and all that.
Right.
I mean, except for Disney Plus, the whole Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where the outfit that Sam as Captain America is almost identical to his thing there. But then again, I believe that because he's not a super soldier. He's a regular guy who's skilled and all that. So he needs a slightly more beefed up armor for protection.
Exactly.
So I mean, I bought that. The reason behind that, I mean, it's like I got it. So, but very, very cool. So
I agree. I agree.
This has been a lot of fun. So thank you very much for being my first guest. So I've only ever been to Instagram. I didn't know if you'd be a screenshot like this, or it'd just be you looking at a bunch of statues and talking off camera. So
I thought about that, honestly. I did. But, I was like, why not?
Yeah, I left it completely up to you. But this is definitely a lot of fun. So
for sure.
My first interview. So yeah, anyone have any suggestions or want to, other channels or other characters and all that, and I can find somebody who's specific to them and all that. If you like
questions,
yeah. If any questions or whatever, please. We only have like
3 minutes.
Only showing 2 people, but check questions before we go ahead and sign off and all that. But yeah, please give Batman here. Go to Instagram and like his page and follow him, because you can definitely find a lot of cool books on his sales and pictures and all that. And any questions you have, go ask him. So definitely give this video a like, give his channel a like, definitely, and follow us there. And yeah, very, very cool. So definitely a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, so, for sure. I appreciate the invite, man. Honestly.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't think when I asked you last time you couldn't do the knockout as Batman Beyond or whatever. But if I ever bring Batman Beyond back to a future season, you're more than welcome to have him. He won't do very well, I feel. I said you're more than welcome. You don't have to, obviously, but I don't think he'd do very well next. He wouldn't do very well in the next season. I have powerhouses coming in the next season.
Yeah,
Superman.
I don't know. He's beaten Superman. He's beaten Superman before.
Well, true, I guess.
When he had Starro on him. Yeah.
Yeah, true. But I have the next season being powerhouses. People who can conquer planets by themselves, basically. But yeah, so it doesn't look like we have anybody who has any real questions. So we'll go ahead. Just go ahead and contact Batman Beyond Comics on Instagram if you have anything you want to ask, or comment down below. I can always pass on the question too and get back to you as well. But thank you very much, Tommy and all that. Right, Tommy, you said right?
Yeah, Tommy.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining me. Yep. So definitely, I want to do this again, definitely with another channel, another group or something. I'll definitely have to figure it out. So this is definitely a lot interesting just to talk Batman Beyond, because he's always one of my favorites. I just like the TV show, and recently I've started getting into the comics, and recently I said a few months, obviously, and I'm working on it. I'm getting most of my books from him. So
yeah, absolutely. It's the costume. I'm telling you, it's the costume. Everyone loves the costume.
definitely one of the best costumes out there after Spider-Man. I'm just saying.
Oh, that's an argument for a different time, sir.
I'll go there because I'm a Spider-Man guy.
All right,
Black suit. Yeah. All right. So take care.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take care, everyone. Thank you very much for joining. Hit that like button, hit that comment button, and sub me up. I'm about to do another video here. I'm thinking tomorrow, where I announce my 600 subscriber contest. I'll have a Batman slab that I'm going to be giving away. In fact, I'm going to show it here.
Yeah, let's see this. I want to see. Hold on. How do I sign up?
You'll just have to do it by there. So let me see. Here we go. So it is DC Rebirth #1 Batman. It's a CGC 9.6.
Dang.
So it's like I said, I bought it today at my LCS. It is a Dynamic Forces issue with a certificate. It is limited to 3,000 copies. So it's not 9.8, but it's possible. Maybe it's possible to get it pressed and bump it up.
So how do I sign up for that? I want that book.
I'm thinking of doing. I'm thinking it might be a spot. I'm not sure if I'll have to decide. I'll have to decide if I want to do it because the original question was. I don't like that. There you go.
No, I don't like that either.
I think the original question was going like, because in the ASM comics we have Spider-Man fighting against the Juggernaut and fighting against the Hulk and things like that. I wanted to basically do maybe like a question, possibly something like that, on who do you think is the tougher fight, kind of thing. But if I'm going to give away a Batman comic, possibly I might have to do something similar to Batman question instead. So I'll spend the rest of the day thinking about it. But yeah, that'll definitely be one of the things I offer. I have a couple of pops that I might offer as well as a two winner contest, whatever. But whatever I do, it'll be you answer the question or you do this to enter the contest, and your name will be put on a wheel. And that's what I do. I like to have a randomized wheel, and then I'll spin the wheel, and that's how the winner will be selected. Nice. So that's what I do. Kind of like a raffle, like you'll do. That kind of thing. So that way I don't do it, So that's definitely be it. That's the prize. So take care, everyone.
Later, guys.
Show up on Monday. Yeah, P had to go. So show up on Monday for episode of the Knockout. It's the semifinals between Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Michelangelo, and Bloodshot. So that'll be very fun if you have time between that and Comigories, which is that night as well. So hit that like button. Subscribe button. Thank you guys for showing up, and I had a lot of fun. Take care. Happy collecting.